In this video, we will cover the differences between local and external users in AuthPoint, how to create local users, how to view details about the users and their tokens, and the management options available. Now let's get started. Here we are on the dashboard for WatchGuard Cloud. Let's go to Configure at the top, then AuthPoint. I'll go to Users on the left to pull up my users dashboard. We have a few users here already, and we can see their usernames, display names, account type, email addresses, groups, and tokens. Users can be members of multiple groups, which may also include their LDAP groups when those groups are imported. Groups are used in authentication policies to define how users authenticate. For more information on how to create authentication policies for your users, refer to the Using AuthPoint Authentication Policies video. We can click Add User to create a new local user. When we create or import a user, they must have these three pieces of information: their first name, their username, and their email address. I'll fill those out for our example user here, and I'll select an AuthPoint group that I've created to add the user to, then finally I'll save the user. When you create a local user, AuthPoint sends that user two email messages. One is used to set their AuthPoint password, and the other to activate a token in the AuthPoint mobile app. At the top of the user list, we have options for searching the list if you have a large number of users. We can also click the funnel to filter the user list and create complex searches, such as these users in a specific group with a pending token. We can also select multiple users at once if we need to resend the token activation email or delete multiple users. Here is the set password email users will receive. Let's click through and enter a password for this account. Here is the token activation email. When we click through, we are presented with a few options. Since I have opened this link on my desktop, I'll need to use my AuthPoint mobile app and scan the code here with the QR code reader to activate my token. If I had opened this link on my phone instead, I would click Activate to complete the token activation. Now that our user has set their password and activated a token, our user is ready to authenticate. On the user management screen, we can see that the token has changed from pending to display a serial number, and we can click on the token to display some additional information. Here we can see how the token is being used, as well as some information about the mobile device that the token is installed on. We can also block or delete the token as needed. Next to each username and token, we can also see colored indicators. Green means that user or token is active and ready to be used for authentication. Red means that user or token is blocked. So if a user is blocked, that means that they cannot authenticate at all. Whereas if a token is blocked, it cannot be used to authenticate, but the user could still authenticate using another token or with forgot token mode. The yellow status for a user means they are quarantined, which only applies to users synced from an external source. You can also see users tagged with LDAP to show they have been imported into AuthPoint. We discuss LDAP users and syncing them in the Integrate with LDAP video. You can also sync users directly from Azure AD, which we discuss in the Integrate with Azure AD video. You may also see a yellow status for a hardware token. This means that the token is assigned to that user, but has not been activated yet. The gray status for a user means that your account does not have enough AuthPoint user licenses and that user is overallocated and cannot authenticate. Note that when an AuthPoint license does expire, there is a 1-week grace period where users can still authenticate. For a token, the gray status simply means that the token is still pending and the user has not yet activated it. The token activation email does expire after a week, so it may need to be resent, but the user can always activate their token on the IDP portal as well. Each user has user management options on the right side of the page. We can resend the set password and token activation emails. We can block the user. We can enable forgot token mode for a user so that they can authenticate without their mobile device. We can give the user additional software or hardware tokens, up to a 20 token limit for each user. We can run user verification to send a test push notification to a user's phone, and we can delete the user if needed. Let's walk through the process to enable forgot token mode for a user. The user must start the process, which we can see on the top of the screen, by attempting to authenticate via any AuthPoint login page and selecting Forgot Token. The user then contacts their administrator and provides the activation code that is displayed. The AuthPoint administrator, which we can see on the bottom of the screen, selects Forgot Token for that user, types the activation code from the user, and sets a time period to determine how long Forgot Token mode is active. This cannot exceed 72 hours. The administrator then gets a verification code that they send back to the user. After the user fills in the information, they can log in. While Forgot Token mode is active, the user can log in to any AuthPoint resource with just their username and password, including the VPNs. Forgot Token mode ends after the specified time period or if the user successfully authenticates with a token. There are some brute force protections available in the settings menu on the left. Login attempts controls how many consecutive invalid attempts are allowed before the user account is blocked. Authentication attempts controls how many invalid attempts to use a token are allowed before that token is blocked. Once a user or token is blocked, the administrator must re-enable them before they can be used to authenticate. The time window is the window of time new one-time passwords are considered valid, and the default should not be changed. So that should do it for user management in AuthPoint. In this video we covered how to view and filter users in AuthPoint, what the different status colors mean for users and tokens, how to create a local user, the different user management options, how to use Forgot Token mode, and how the brute force protections work.